Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feast and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring. And George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil. Chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk a doubter, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati. You see, I live in world-class luxury, and mediocrity is never found in me. Haha. All right, we got another episode of the MC Tutorial Show. First one for January, and the first one for 2023. Took me a while to take that in. We're in 2023 already, so here we go. Where do I begin? This video is brought to you by people who pay good money for this ad. Cafe La Notte, where at their Garrettson Beach location, they will provide one of the greatest parties ever, featuring a good friend of mine, DJ El Nene. So this Saturday, the 21st, please come over and show your support for my good friend DJ El Nene at Cafe La Notte 2 in Garrettson Beach, Brooklyn, New York. All right. Okay, first thing I want to do is I want to tackle the issue of blaming Jews for being the evil elite. The evil elite are not the Jews. The evil elite are the evil elite. They just are, and that's it. They know no religion. They know no nationality. The late, great William Cooper even said, "It's not the Jews, man." He really said that. Look that up on any YouTube. If you have a YouTube app, which you should. Otherwise, how the hell are you going to be watching this broadcast? But anyway, the Jews are not to blame for all the oppression in the world. It's the evil elite, and they are not one and the same. I'm not Jewish. I go out of my way to show that I'm not Jewish. I'll wear a cross around my neck. I will make references to Jesus Christ being Lord of Lords, King of Kings, the Messiah, the only begotten Son of God, just to prove that I'm not Jewish. I will go out of my way to be seen eating bacon to prove I'm not Jewish, which does not make me anti-Semitic. Proving that you're not Jewish or going out of your way to explain that you're not Jewish doesn't make you anti-Jew. Just like going out of your way to explain that you're not gay doesn't make you anti-gay, or that newfangled word homophobic, which was invented sometime at the turn of this here century. So it's a newfangled word that I prefer not to even use that often. But sometimes you got to speak the language of the people that use these words for whatever reason to get your point across. I don't believe in expressing any sort of bigotry against any demographic of people, period. And just because I go out of my way to explain that I'm not of one particular demographic or not, it doesn't mean I'm against that. You know, I'm not against the existence of women. You need women to populate. You need women to procreate and have your society grow. So it would be foolish to be anti-woman. But on the same token, I'm not a woman. And I never make any efforts to become a woman. And that is the truth, no matter what some people formerly of my camp would try to tell you. Now, you got Kanye going out there talking about all the CEOs of all these different companies that are, going all cancer culture on them, or cancel culture. Cancel culture could be similar to a cancer, because, they eat at your relevance. But the thing of it is that he's over there pointing out who's Jewish and who's not, and these people might have Jewish last names, but might not necessarily be Jewish. Did you know George Soros is not really a practicing Jew? He might have had a Hungarian Jewish upbringing, but he's not a practicing Jew. He's a sellout of Jews, for example, because, he's gotten his wealth from being a sellout and an evil bastard. Has nothing to do with him being Jewish, and everything to do with him being an evil sellout bastard that should have fallen on a sword before selling out his own people. Virtue is a very important thing to have when it comes to, not throwing your own people under the bus and getting them killed, and working out a deal with your own people's murderers to gain the riches of the people you've thrown under the bus and had killed by Nazis. So yes, George Soros is more of a Nazi than a Jew. So let's not confuse my pointing out of George Soros being an evil bastard with any sort of anti-Semitism, because nobody has displayed more anti-Semitism than a person that throws his own people under the bus, has them killed, and works out a deal with the people who had them killed to gain their riches or whatever wealth or property they may have had, to build his own wealth and be the multi-billionaire that he is today, funding things that have nothing to do with awareness that save black lives, or any type of awareness that supposedly saves black lives, and everything to do with division and bringing in some sort of communist agenda, as if communism is any better than fascism or Nazism. All of it sucks, because all of it thrives off of robbing you of your freedom and making sure you're not armed and dangerous to them, so that when they implement all sorts of freedom-grabbing rules, they put you in a position where you can't fire at them to get them to stop. So, it's all evil. It's all wrong. It all robs you of your freedom. So, the point is that even though I call out people that happen to have these Jewish last names as being evil, I could also assure you these people are not practicing Jews, and even sell out their own people if they dare consider themselves Jews. And even though I point out I'm not Jewish, it doesn't make me anti-Semitic. As a matter of fact, you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody who goes harder against anti-Semitism than I do. Unless, of course, that person's name is like Simon Wiesenthal or somebody like that. You know, I think he has the mantle on being a champion opponent against anti-Semitism, and you know, may that great man rest in peace. But with Kanye West, you know, he's got to cut out these Nazi overtones, because he's just wrong for doing that. He's wrong in singling out a particular demographic of people and saying that they are the evil elite. The evil elite are not the Jews. The evil elite are just evil elite. As I said, they know no nationality, they know no religion, they know no faith, color, or creed. They just sit there on the top of the mountain while us poorer folk scurry in squalor, bickering at who's to blame for their oppression. And they're sitting at the mountaintop laughing at all of this. They're the evil elite. And some may go under the blanket or guise of being, quote, Jewish, unquote, but it's not all about being Jewish. It's just all about cutting people's throats to gain riches, to become part of that evil elite. And, you know, it's all no good. And unfortunately, Kanye, with all his money, all his power, all his influence, who actually had me on his side at one time because he was wearing a hat just like this one, maybe slightly cleaner. But he's disappointing a lot of people now with the anti-Semitic overtones. And that's not cool, Kanye. Time to wake up. Time to shift lanes. Time to place the blame where it really belongs, man. You're not being cool right now. And all your praise for Balenciaga, and they dropped you for being anti-Semitic, you should take that as a blessing in disguise that they dropped you, because, you know, you can't stand there proudly saying, hey, we dropped Kanye West to prove that we're not anti-Semitic, but we believe that it's okay for a 25-year-old to wine dine and 69 a 13-year-old girl. You know, you can't do that. You can't carry that mantle either. For all you sleazy perverts and pedos and short-eyed motherfuckers over there at Balenciaga, you need to cut your shit, shut your company down. Your buddy there, who's the CEO of Target, needs to stop pushing to sell your merchandise at Target stores, as I've mentioned in several videos before. There's a big thing going on. It's a lot bigger than singling out a demographic and labeling them the evil elite, which that's a bad thing in itself, because it focuses people's attention off of who the real evil elite are. But at the same time, you also have to understand that these evil elite are not above snatching up and sexually exploiting your children. And people wonder why I don't have kids. I mean, if I were to bring up a child in this world, I'd have so much in society going against me. Okay? If I were to, first of all, I would have to find the right person to be the other parent to that child.
I would have to find the right person that won't, kneel over my 5-year-old boy as their mother and say, maybe you were meant to be a girl. I would have that working against me. I would have all sorts of other virtue signaling working against me, poisoning the mind of my seed. And I'd rather not bring a seed into the world than bring somebody into the world that could be poisoned by influences like that. And the public school system is all about poisoning the minds of the young and making them inferior. I mean, I think what's happening is you have people in high places, public figures, the marionettes that control these public figures, be it athletes, entertainers, or politicians, to ultimately make the United States of America subservient to a communist entity. Which in the 60s and 70s, they tried to make that communist entity the Soviet Union. They fell on their face and failed. So now they're trying to make it China as the communist entity that the free world, must give up their freedom and be subservient to. And it's no good. It's no good. The goal here is to allow the Constitution, which is a great document, by the way. It's one of the greatest contracts in world history. And just to make it work like it's supposed to work. Not infringe on anything having to do with the Bill of Rights. In other words, Target had no right to infringe on my Fourth Amendment rights. And when you infringe on my Fourth Amendment rights, that opens up a can of worms. Do I practice my Fifth Amendment rights? Do I practice my Second Amendment rights? Or do what I do right now, which is practice my First Amendment rights, which is the freedom of speech, and not letting religion dictate what the government should do, and not let the government dictate what should be done within the altar of your faith, whichever faith that may be. So these are things that need to be looked at. It's all intertwined. I was going to sectionalize this video piece by piece, but it's so intertwined that it got me into talking about all of it all at once, like a snake chasing its own tail. And where is a snake very prominent? On the famous flag that bears the slogan, "Don't tread on me." And that's a very important slogan. So is "Live free or die." These aren't just cliches. These aren't antiquated cliches, outdated phrases, or anything like that. Live free or die is very important. I mean, I believe Jimmy Cliff once said it. Later it was said by Rocker's Revenge. I'd rather be a free man in the grave than living as a puppet or a slave. Very important words to live by. As are the words "live free or die," which is this, ironically, the slogan of New Hampshire. And it's very important not to let New Hampshire fall on the liberal leadership that they have over there right now. The country that lives under the slogan "Live Free or Die" should continue to do so. Especially the state that lives under that slogan. And that's it. I'm not talking gibberish here. You need to understand and respect the ways that exist here. And you need to respect God, listen to my music, follow my ways, watch out for the Illuminati, and most importantly, don't have gross teeth, and overall, just don't be gross, period. Don't be gross. Balenciaga? What do you think that all that short-eyed shit is? It's gross. Don't be gross. Throw your Balenciaga shit in the garbage, because that's all it is. Just overpriced garbage. And yeah, just cut your losses. Your $300 hoodie that you bought with that name all over it, throw it in the garbage. All this praise you give to Balenciaga, you're better off cutting your tongue than praising Balenciaga, because they're a bunch of child molesters. They're a bunch of kiddie porn peddlers. And yeah, and they had the goal to cut Kanye West for being anti-Semitic. Yeah, that's a good righteous cause to cut somebody off, but don't turn around and have something fucked up about you while cutting off somebody else for doing something else that's fucked up. Like I said, we molest and exploit children, but it's okay because we're not anti-Semitic. What is that? Who'd you rather sit at a table with? A gay-friendly racist or a non-racist homophobe? Who would you rather sit at a table with? Somebody who's racist but not anti-Semitic, or somebody who's anti-Semitic but not racist? Who would you rather sit at a table with? I mean, you should be reaching for the fuck 'em both button if you're left with choices like that. Would you rather sit at a table with Nazis or child molesters? You shouldn't be picking one or the other if given that choice. You should be looking for the fuck 'em both button and pressing that. But, hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy in a much envied Chevy truck. People like my music. So I'll say it again. Respect God. Watch out for the Illuminati. Listen to my music. Follow my ways. Stay strong. Keep kicking that slang, and don't be gross. And I wanted to get into something else too. The Bengals are driving again. They're Super Bowl bound again, it looks like. Well, they have to get through a couple more teams. The next team they have to face is the Buffalo Bills. They barely beat them. The record is about even, which is usually people who are on the losing end say. Out of 30 times that they faced each other in the past, the Bengals only have 13 wins versus the Bills' 17 wins. But my boys are going to come through, They're probably going to win this game, but my guess is they're going to win by a field goal or something that signifies in the final score that they barely got out by the skin of their teeth. It's always a good, even showdown. Both teams play each other very hard when they do face each other there on the gridiron. And, then they will face the winner of the Jaguars versus Chiefs game come Saturday. So, I might be doing the gotta beat the Chiefs dance again sometime. It's all over my Instagram from last year, where I'm dancing around saying gotta beat the Chiefs, and we did beat the Chiefs. We just we're hoping to face the 49ers for that rematch, or that rematch. But the Niners were scared. They cowered with their tail between their legs and lost to the Rams, who went on to barely escape with their lives against my Bengals last year. So my Bengals are the defending AFC champs. We got a game coming this weekend against the Bills, and the winner of that game faces the winner of the Chiefs-Jaguars game. So it's going to be really, really, really interesting. And I'm glad we beat the Ravens, because now whoever that schmuck is quartering for the Ravens, Joe Burrow could tell him, hey, go give MC Too Tall's boy Lenny Bavona a call. He might need a tire guy where he's managing now, and so on and so forth. Kind of like what Carson Palmer said to Kyle Bowler back in the day. It's not the end of the world. You could get a job at Sears. Lenny needs a tire guy. So Lenny's always in need of people who could change tires for him. So, if you play for the Ravens, start filling out those applications. All right. Take care.